Alright, as requested, I'm going to go over number 8 on page 222, which was for the assignment from either yesterday or today. The question asks you, the table shows the flight distance and times for two airlines. How many more miles does an airplane for Patton Airlines travel than an airplane for Galperin Airlines in 1 hour? So it gives you this table with some information. It says Patton will travel 135 and 45 tenths of a mile in a 15-minute time span. Galperin will do 176 miles in a 20-minute time span. So the first thing I need to do is I need to look at these rates, and I need to change them from 135 and 45 tenths over 15 into something over 60. So here's the new information. I've taken the image in the problem, and I've taken this information and I've transferred it in our two rates here. I've got 135 and 45 tenths of a mile over 15 and 176 miles over 20 minutes. Now, the problem asked me to convert those times to see how long these planes travel in 1 hour. So my first step is I need to figure out how far these planes can go in an hour. So knowing an hour is 60 minutes, I'm going to change both of these rates from 20 and 15 into 60. So this is where I need to do some thinking. So I'm going to change my color here. So I've got to get from 15 to 60. So I need to think, what times 15 is going to give me 60? In this case, I know 15 times 4, 15, 30, 45, 60, will get me to that 60. And since I did that to the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing to the top. So I have 135 and 45 tenths times 4. So let's work out this multiplication problem. Knowing I have to do 135 and 45 tenths times 4. I've got 4 times 5 is going to give me 20. I'll regroup. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 more gives me 18. Hold my decimal because I have 2 decimal places in my problem. Regroup. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. And then 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So I know that the Patton airplane will fly 541 miles and 80 tenths, or 8 tenths of a mile. So over here, that becomes my new numerator. So I put my new numerator here, 541 and 8 tenths over 60. Now down here, I need to think 20 to get to 60. What can I multiply 20 by to make 60? In this case, I know I'm going to multiply by 3, because 20, 40, 60 gives me 60. I can do the same thing up here. I'm going to take 176, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. So here's my problem, 176 times 3. 3 times 6 gives me 18. Regroup. 3 times 1 is 21, plus 1 more is 22. Regroup. 3 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more gives me 5. So 528 miles. That becomes my numerator here, 528 miles. So this tells me how far each of these airplanes will fly. This plane in 1 hour for this company can go 541 and 8 tenths of a mile. This plane can go 528 in 1 hour. So I know this plane goes farther. Now the problem asked me to figure out how many more miles does an airplane for Patton travel than an airplane for Galperin. So how many more is the clue that's going to tell me that I need to take this 541 and 8 tenths and subtract 528 from it to find the difference to show me how much further this company goes. Now when we're going to subtract these two numbers, the important thing to remember is I have to line up my decimal. Now 528 doesn't really have a decimal in it, but if I were to add one, it would go right here and I could put a 0 here. I saw a lot of students today in class lining this 8 up with this one, or they had a 0 still here, and it was throwing all these numbers off. Remember, your ones place has to be lined with 1, your tens with your tens, your hundreds with your hundreds, and your tens or hundreds lined up with each other as well. So my first step, 8 take away 0 gives me 8. Then I have 1 take away 8 in my ones place. Well, 1 doesn't have enough, so I'm going to do some regrouping. Change my 4 into a 3 and make this 11. Now 8, 9, 10, 11 gives me 3 here. Then I have 3 take away 2 in my ones place with 1, and then the 5s will cancel out there, meaning that the Patton airplane flies 13 and 8/10 of a mile more than the Galpern airplane. So 13 and 8/10 is your final answer. So there was a lot of work in this problem. If we go back and go over what we did here, we figured out how far each airplane travels from the rate they gave us to how far it will go in 1 hour's worth of time. We found that Patton will go 541 and 8/10, and Galpern will go 528. That was just our first step, is to convert those two rates from 15 minutes or 20 minutes to an hour and solve. So that gave us how far these planes traveled, and from there we had to take it to subtracting our two numbers and taking 541 and 8/10 take away 528 to figure out the difference to see how much farther this company could actually go. So this gives us our final answer of 13 and 8/10.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.